We are pleased to welcome back to set Tom O'Brien, who is the Plymouth County Treasurer, with his segment that we entitled Treasury Notes with Tom O'Brien. Welcome back.
It's great to be back, Julie. Thanks for having me again.
It's great to have you. We're talking about county government. And over the last few times that you've been here, you've talked about different aspects of county government. We're going to talk today about how county government is funded, because it's funded basically through deeds and excise tax and recording fees. Take it away and tell me what you want us to know.
Well, and I think it's important for the residents of Plymouth County to understand some of the funding for Plymouth County, not all, but a good portion of it, comes from transactions at the Registry of Deeds.
Okay.
So we're very proud of our Registry of Deeds in
Yes.
Plymouth County. Every time I go out, I talk about how we have the first Registry of Deeds in America.
Yep.
We have the best register in John Buckley.
Yes, we do.
And I believe that people are really well served by our Registry of Deeds.
Yep.
What they probably don't know is that when they come in to effectuate a real estate transaction, whether that's a transfer of a home or land or a condo, as part of that, and they probably know they're paying some kind of a tax, but they don't know what it is and why they're paying it and where it goes. So that's
Okay.
what we're here to kind of talk about today.
Every single real estate transaction goes through the County of Registry of Deeds.
It goes through the Registry of Deeds in whatever county that real estate transaction is taking place.
Okay.
So if it happens in any of our 27 communities in Plymouth County, it happens at the Registry of Deeds in Plymouth.
Okay, so tell me what type of money is this and where does that money go?
So there are two essential fees that are paid. One is an excise tax and the other is a recording fee.
Okay.
And originally these constructs were created to fund the operations of county government.
Okay.
They weren't intended to be anything other than a revenue source for the county to provide all those wonderful programs we've talked about in previous shows.
Yep.
And to stay in Plymouth County. So think about this. These taxes, the excise tax and the recording fees, are paid for by people that are living in Plymouth County
Right.
or moving into Plymouth County.
Right.
And so the original intent, which I think was good, was to make sure that money stayed in Plymouth County.
Kind of makes sense.
It does kind of make sense, doesn't it? Gee.
But
but
the almighty but, what happened?
Things happen,
Yeah.
as they say. So excise tax, let's talk about that first,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about recording fees.
Okay.
Excise tax was originally envisioned to be a 50-50 split between the state
Yep.
and the county.
Okay.
So the state needs revenue. We understand that. There are certain resources that they provide. They need to provide roads and bridges and
Sure.
public safety,
Yep.
so they have to get some revenue. So it was originally intended to be 50-50. Over the last couple of decades, however, as the state has had financial crises, what do? They look for additional sources of revenue. And they say, we've got this nice tax that we've got down in the counties, and it's in every county, not just Plymouth County. We need a bigger share of that.
So that 50-50 is
So
it
that
ain't
50-50
happening anymore.
doesn't happen
Yeah.
anymore. It's now we get 10.625 and the state gets 89.375. Wow. Yeah.
That was a big hit.
That was a big hit. It happened over a period of time. It didn't happen all at once. And obviously it's a little more complicated than that, but it ends at those numbers.
Okay.
And we feel, and our legislative delegation, who have been fantastic in understanding this, agree with us that we should get a better portion of that back to
Sure.
the county.
Yeah.
And so we filed legislation. Representative Cutler is the lead sponsor, but Representative Muratori, Representative Cantwell, Representative Coulter, Senator DiMacedo are
Yep.
all on this piece of legislation to say, hey, the county deserves more of its money back.
Right.
And we're looking to get 30%.
Instead of your 10.6.
Right.
Okay.
10.625.
Yeah.
So we're not being unreasonable.
Nope.
We know the state needs revenue.
Right.
They have fiscal challenges.
Sure.
So we think a 70-30 split is fair
Yeah.
at this point in time.
Right.
Maybe it will eventually go back to 50-50. Who knows? We might be dreaming. But at least 70-30 seems to make sense. So we filed that legislation. The benefit to everybody who watches is the fact that their money that they're paying stays in Plymouth County and goes for all of those programs that they want spent here in Plymouth
Right,
County.
like you actually manage the Registry of Deeds, you run 3 courthouses, you do bulk purchasing programs for all the towns that are in the county, and you administer financial advice to save every town's money.
Those are just a few of the things we do.
A few of the big things that you
And
do.
as we see towns face more and more challenges, they're looking to us to do more.
Sure.
Whether that's helping to fund tourism programs or some of the other resources that they need.
Right.
If we have a revenue stream, we can do that, and it stays in Plymouth County.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
So that's the excise tax.
That's excise
So what
tax.
is this recording fees?
So the recording,
Another thing we pay when we
you do
pass
you
on
do.
real estate.
You do, and think about it. It makes sense because we have to keep track of all the records.
Yep.
And you want those records kept track
Oh,
of
absolutely.
properly.
Yep.
Because in America we have the right to property.
That's right.
And you have to record that and
Book
keep
and
track
page.
of it. Book and page. See,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's a recording fee. For a long time, that recording fee was fairly nominal in the $25, $30 range. However, in 2003, we had a governor in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts who had made a promise, and the promise was no new taxes.
Right.
But as the Commonwealth faced fiscal challenges, and interestingly, I know this firsthand because I was a state rep at the time
Right.
and was in the middle of this fray, as the Commonwealth was battling its financial challenges, the decision by the administration at the time was, well, let's raise fees.
Right.
And we all know they raise fees at the Registry of Motor Vehicles, they raise fees everywhere.
Yep.
Where people probably don't know that they raise fees pretty dramatically was at the Registry of Deeds.
Okay.
And then the recording fees.
Right.
So that $25 or $30 fee went up to $125, $150, fairly significant increase.
Right.
And regrettably for the counties, all that money went into the general fund of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
All that additional money.
Every penny of the additional money.
None went back to the Plymouth
None
County,
stayed
where
with-
all these recordings are recorded.
Well, and that's a point that we make when we go up and talk to the legislators and the governor's office, is that we have to fund the operation. We're paying for people
Yeah.
to record this. We're paying their salaries. We're
Right.
paying their benefits, their
Right.
health insurance, their
Yep.
retirement. That costs money. So essentially, you're taking our revenue stream
Right.
into the general fund of the Commonwealth and
Right.
saying to the county, hey, you guys make do.
Right.
You guys handle that
Yeah.
however best you can.
Yeah, which
and
is-
it's just a challenge, and it needs to be fixed. And people are listening. It takes time
Yeah.
to articulate that. That's why we always appreciate the opportunity to talk about these
Oh
things
yeah, because
publicly.
most people just don't know this.
They don't
You
know.
don't. I mean,
They
you don't.
don't
I mean,
know.
when you go to pass on real estate, even if you go to refinance, you have to do this. You have to record it again.
And we've been really pleased because the media has begun to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
There's been some stories here in Plymouth County. I know Representative Cutler did an interview.
Yes.
I think Representative Muratori
Yep.
did one as well, where they say simply, hey, we just want to bring the money back to our region.
Right.
Because they know as elected officials, if there's a challenge, is it easier to get money at the county level if you have a program that you want to start or fund or support?
Yeah.
Or is it easier to do it at the state level? It's much easier to do it at the county level.
Right. Now, what are we talking about as far as money goes? Like each month, approximately how much money is brought in through these excise taxes and recording fees? How much does the county keep, and how much goes to the state of Massachusetts?
It's a lot of money in Plymouth County, and don't forget we have 14 counties in the Commonwealth of
14
Massachusetts.
towns.
We have 14 counties.
We have 14 counties, right?
Yes,
Okay, right.
Total, there are 7 active counties.
Okay.
There are 27 communities in Plymouth County, but at the Registry of Deeds on a monthly basis, it's anywhere between $2 to $3 million, and the county keeps anywhere.
Just in excise taxes and fees?
Yes.
$2 to $3 million a
Yes,
month.
Yes, a month.
Wow.
Well, think about it. If there's a major transaction,
Yeah.
whether it's the selling of a mall
Yeah.
or a major apartment complex
Right.
or a business,
Right.
that all gets transacted. It's not so much the homes, although I will say with the refinancing
Right.
boom that really happened,
Right.
that resulted in a lot of generation of recording fees.
Right.
And,
So
and
the
excise
taxes are
tax.
based on a sliding scale of how much
It's based on the
worth?
valuation of the
Oh,
property,
okay.
except the recording fees.
Right. The
That's a
recording fees
fee.
are set.
Right, but the taxes
Oh,
are
okay,
is
that
a
makes
percentage.
sense.
It does
so
make
out of
sense.
the other $2 million that comes in, you only get slightly over $200,000 at the county level.
That's correct, about 10%.
about 10.625% to be exact, right? And the
Yes.
rest goes to the state.
And the rest goes
Yeah.
to the state. In
And you're-
fact, I have regular conversations with our Register of Deeds
Yep.
because every month, and we're in the process right now, he looks and all the money they collected, and we write checks out to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that are a lot bigger than the checks that we write out to the
Right.
county to fund our
Right.
operations.
And so you're trying to get some of this, through legislation, you're trying to get some of this funding back to stay in Plymouth County.
That's correct.
Okay.
We would like to keep, again, on the excise tax, 30%, on the recording fees, everything that's generated. That would keep anywhere between $1 to $2 million back annually here in Plymouth County. And we can think of all the wonderful things
Oh,
we
yeah,
could do with
yeah,
that.
right.
You
Especially,
know.
I know since tourism dollars have been cut dramatically.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
one of the things we're finding is the number of requests we're getting on a monthly basis, whether it's from the South Shore Community Action
Sure,
Council
yeah.
or PCDC, about the programs that are being cut, Meals on Wheels,
Yeah.
support for the elderly. We see at the federal level, that's a real challenge. Who
Right.
knows what's going to happen there?
Yep.
The state is trying to fill in the gap where they can.
Right.
The county is a resource and can be a resource if we get to keep some of our money.
And we hope we will. And we'll
hope
next
so.
time you're on, maybe we'll know, maybe we won't, because the wheels of justice move slowly.
I have a feeling it will be a while,
Okay.
but we'll keep talking about
Okay,
it. And
great.
hopefully the more people are aware, we can make a change.
Give us updates.
I will.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.